Hey, Sonder family, it's a brand new day. Happy Sunday morning. It's Palm Sunday if you are on a Lenten journey. It's really good to see you. I'm coming to you from Central Texas today. My name is Jennifer Ogilvy. I get to be your on-screen facilitator. And I saw many of you see our fabulous Bailey Grady is hanging out with me this morning, and she's giving you a good morning wave. She is coming to us from Tennessee, and she'll be hanging in the chat. And I'll be here on screen in front of y'all. You are welcome to mute, to just do your setup. You've carved out this appointment for yourself. We're so proud of you for doing that. And the your screens are off, your mics are off, and this is about your time with your journal. Is there anybody here for the very first time? Maybe you're sitting with your April journal. You're cracking this beautiful Silk and Sonder journal open for the first time, brand new day with your journal. If you are new, just put a me in the chat because this community we'll want to give you a big O welcome. That this is a great, oh, hello, Anna. We've got several folks, lots of first timers. Okay, so friends, you're going to want to make sure that you keep these appointments with yourself because you will just be enveloped by this fabulous virtual community that is, oh, y'all know, right? Like if you can't describe it. So this helps you stay accountable to using your journal. And then it also engages you, puts you in connection with some amazing people. Yeah, no worries. I'm just chatting it up if you're just now logging on. You know, the morning ones we have to get going. A little slow. Slow and steady wins the race. So make sure your chat is set to everyone. That's how we communicate with each other through the morning, since your mics are off, since your screens are off. And again, if like the music's not your jam, just lower the volume. You do what you need this morning. I do have a couple of little housekeeping. I'll share this at the end again as a reminder, but we do have a new minimalist journal experience offering. This is the reflection without the florals. So if there's someone in your life, or maybe it's you, this might be something worth looking into. It is available only in digital format, but great for your tablets. So just wanting to share that. Monica, thank you. I'll share a little bit more in a minute. I'm doing okay. And then please do an act of kindness today by taking a moment. Go check out Trustpilot. That's a really good place to leave a positive review for Silk and Sonder. Go to your Apple and Google Play Store and rate your app experience. Go to the website and leave a review for this. I love that y'all are talking about coffee. I have my extra large and I'm laughing. It kind of, my mug matches my earrings today. Love those little glimmers. Um, so yeah, allergies are bad. All the things are blooming. We have our new season. We're done wintering. Spring happened last week. We are we are fresh into full bloom and we're going to be dealing with those allergies. Um, I did my Astapro. That's a new nose spray I started using, and I highly recommend Astapro. In addition to all the other things I do. Here are our community guidelines. For those of you who are new, you will see these every time we gather together because our goal is to always create safe spaces for one another. You come as you are. We ask you to, of course, no hate speech or bullying. We do respect privacy. What happens in Sonder Club stays in Sonder Club. This is such a great place for us to share things that are going on in our life. It feels really good to be connected to other people and just to put something out there and to feel heard. That's so good for you. So, safest space, for sure, but the reminder that these times together, especially when we work on those journal prompts, and if you're new, you will love working on those journal prompts with facilitators and the support of the chat, because sometimes those journal prompts are tough. We want to make sure we're taking good care of ourselves, our emotions, our well-being, and our decisions. So I love this community. I always try to throw a couple of cute little community um, graphics in there because you all are so inspiring to me and to one another, and you take such good care of everybody. So I know it's kind of weird that we have these April journals, but we are actually closing out March and our theme of change before we jump into our new theme. Now, if you are here with your brand new journal doing this for the first time, don't worry. We're going to be setting up that first weekend in April, but we're finishing up some of our change duties from the past month. I found this quote for this week. Every difficult moment should be met with this simple question. And this is really, I put this on here for me. What can I change and control? And what do I have to accept? And when we can figure that out and know where we stand, we can just bring so much more of ourselves to the situation. And Bailey just dropped down. Yeah, if you're kind of waiting on your journal to arrive, no worries. Take pictures. This is being recorded, as will be the other weekly setups. And so you can just go grab a recording and watch that. And there's like couple there's almost like 2,000 videos on our YouTube channel. So you always have that support. All righty. So we did work on a change mind map. If you're new here, that's your bonus prompt when you come to these weekly setups. It's not in your journal. You will find lots of stuff in your journal, but these are your bonus prompts that you get. We sort of do this at these weekly setups. We give you a question, few minutes to work on it, but it's kind of a question that you can sort of carry into your week to do that deeper dig into the monthly theme. So we did 4 weeks of change. We reflected on like how we respond to change. We looked at maybe there was a positive change. You know, we have positive changes in our life. So we reflected upon that. And then we looked in week 3 as the opportunities that a hard change could bring our way. And then last week was an area that we could identify where we needed growth in change, and we wrote to that. So I put this up here in case you needed to grab a screenshot of the last 4 weeks of change. And then because this week is a hybrid week of March and April, it is going to be a bonus mind map question. And here it is. Identify a change you've made, a belief you've once held, or a moment of alignment in your life. Now, if you went, wait, belief, change, alignment, yes, those are our last 3 themes. So we had alignment in January, belief in February, and change was this month, March. So we've sort of comboed it all together. Think about how this contributed to your self discovery, getting to know yourself better, and reflect on any surprising insights and how they shape who you are today. So my tip is if you've got them close and you've been doing your Silk and Sonder journey this whole time, go grab that January journal. Go look at those mind map questions or look at maybe some of the goals that you set for the month. Grab February. What did you think about belief? Go check your mind map question out, some of those journal prompts. And then thumb through March's journal to maybe inspire your reflection. Maybe one of those things out of our last quarter jumps out at you, and you can identify with this question about finding that change and how it led to further self-discovery. So this is going to be different for all of us. You may be jumping back to something that really moved you in the month of January when you were exploring, the belief you have in your life. Um, just a couple of quotes. A lot of the conflict you have in your life exists simply because you're not living in alignment. And we looked at alignment that whole month of January. If you're not being, when you're not being true to yourself. So perhaps that was your moment of self-discovery when you worked through a prompt or a mind map question in January. And then just this reminder, may this be the chapter where you bloom again, softly, slowly, in your own time. And for me, that quote is a beautiful way to frame out what self-discovery is. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to work on this prompt. This can be done on a notes page. It can be done on a scratch piece of paper. You don't have to do it in your March journal. You don't have to do it. No, you pick where it goes. As you work on this reflection, let things that come up for you, share that if you're comfortable, or if you go back and you're looking at January and like, oh my goodness, this is really hitting now that I journeyed through alignment, belief, and change. So let us kind of know what you've discovered along the way. I'll go back and forth between these slides. That way, if you missed a regular mind map question, you can grab a screenshot. And then we'll just spend a little bit of time thinking about this first quarter of 2026. righty. Thank you for considering this question. A lot of us are talking about there's not enough coffee flowing through my veins yet to do this question justice. You've got this question, and yeah, it is. It was kind of like a quarterly review. Like, let's look at where we've come. You shared some beautiful things in the chat, so I hope while I'm chatting it up here, you can kind of scroll back and talk about looking at all these different things that have been brought to your personal awareness. Here we are with a new theme this month of awareness. But yeah, just it's okay to sit with this one if you need to. Wrap things up later, but you've got it. I love some of the things, there were hard things like divorces, but yet when you look back, it was hard at the time, but you survived it, and it ended up being such a catalyst for so many good things in your life. So you can kind of reframe the hardship of that with the joy of how proud you are with that journey. I love Ellen said, I don't need to be liked and loved by everyone because not everybody's in alignment with me. What a great realization. Like we just truck through life trying to take care of everybody and please everybody, and we don't have to be liked and loved by everybody. We have to like and love ourselves, and that's the first that's the first place. So lots of insight with this one. And if you are comfortable sharing like this bonus question this week in Sonder Club, that might be really helpful for other folks to kind of see the direction you took. So thank you for being so open and affirming and, just supportive of one another with this prompt. So we're now going to grab our March. We're in March on page 54. This is our rosebud thorn reflection. And if you are sitting with just April, this could be done on a notes page, or you could do it on your scratch pad. But this is a weekly reflection we do to just kind of see what the week brought us. The roses are the things that we are celebrating, the positive things that, brought us gratitude and joy. And maybe we were successful at something. Maybe it was something small, like I reset the kitchen every night, and that makes me feel happy. The bud are the things that we're looking forward to, what's coming your way. It could be within the next week, then it could be, in the next year. But this is like trying to cultivate our growth mindset to know that there's more out there that makes us move forward. And then the thorn are those challenges that we have to face head on. That's that quote that I shared with you about what can I change? And then the steps I do have power over. And so that's how I kind of frame out thorns. What am I able to move to that? And normally I have all my rosebuds thorns listed here, but I do have to share with y'all, I'm not ready to write this week. I've shared with many of you that my brother was on a sobriety journey, and he was in a period of relapse and was found unresponsive earlier in the week. So I've lost him, and it's just been tough. And I'm here because I wanted to be with y'all, but also to share with you, like, right now it's not time for me to pour into my journal. I'm not ready there. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it later in the week. And I just wanted to bring myself to you because I know you guys have also been on loss journeys, and we get through them. It's not easy, but I'm just showing up because I needed to be with you. And Silk and Solder makes my heart happy. So, thank you for that love. I don't mean to be a downer. Y'all know I have a belief system that's pretty strong, and there is resolution in this, and it's just going to be tough. And I've decided to be mad and sad and glad, and just have my feelings, and you're gonna hear them over the next weeks. So there that is. Right now, all I can feel are the thorns that the week have brought me, and I'm going to be very intentional to look for those small glimmers. One of them was I drove to be with my nephews yesterday. They wanted to be with us, And that was a glimmer. So I just have to sit down and process. And I'm going to need like a whole page for, I'm not going to do this easy rosebud thorn. I'm going to just be writing my rosebud thorns this week. But I wanted just to bring that to you to share that, it's okay to give yourself space, to take the time you need to make it be, my whole journal probably this month is going to be rosebud thorns. So, anyway, here we are. I'm going to put on some music. Please share in the chat. Thank you for your love that you're sending me virtually. Uh, Malini, you're here with us. So we're together in a grief journey. We're going to be with these with each other as we all do this. This is life, right? It sucks, and I really am okay. A lot of the reason I'm okay is this journal. So I'll stop talking. Let me put on a little bit of music as you reflect on your week. Please share your roses and buds at the very least. I need that positivity. So selfishly, I'm going to ask you for that. And then we'll get on with our setup. Okay, I shouldn't have started reading the chat until I got my notes afterward. Thank y'all for all that love. And yeah, this is the place to be. I love you. You love me. Um, Joy is my go-to, and I will find joy. That's just, it'll be okay. But thank you for the space to just share and be authentic with you. And for those of you who have had some really crappy stuff this week, we can just be there for one another, and that's what I love about this community. So yeah, let's get on with a new week. It's a new start. So I'm going to invite you to pick up April. Let's just kick March to the curb. And we are going to open up to pages 26 and 27, where we will find week 14. Um, Golly, it's spring. It's time for newness. It's time to be aware of the changes in the seasons. And it's time to draw awareness to ourselves, Remember, next week we will start our deep dig into our theme with our awareness mind map. I've got a couple of, I always love to do show and tell for y'all, let you see a couple of examples. I laugh because these are examples from last April that I am bringing your way. So if these are one of yours that you shared in Sonder Club a year ago, thank you. You know, we facilitator, there it is, Marie. I love it. We facilitators have our little bank accounts on our laptops and we save all these screenshots. So Marie set up, she wanted to do how she felt she wanted more fun and less funk. And goodness, Marie, I may be yeah, I may be using that. You can see her three goals are there, and she's tied some of her to-dos directly in are influenced by those goals. So she's got her goals, and then she's got some little tasks to do to invest in that. And then you can see her habits and activities. No goal set, just tracking. So she's tracking. She's got a little asterisk. The one next door to her I love how they did how they want to feel. They want to do present that week. They have three goals: home, business, health, keeping it very simple. And they have also tied those to-dos directly into um, that. Leanne, is that yours? I might be missing the chat. I don't know. Yes, it is. So Leanne and Maria, I'm so glad you're in the house this morning so that we could celebrate the fact that you shared and now now you're seeing whoops, now you're seeing the week. And Leanne it has a small business, and so one of her small business trackers was shared at my monthly setup a couple nights ago. But you can see also Leanne is not setting goals, she's tracking, but you can totally set numbers. So I love that you both are in the social this morning and we can shout out our gratitude for sharing with the Sonder family. So we're going to start off with how we want to feel this week. I always think it's a great idea before we just say a word, maybe do just a moment of self check-in. Like, how are you feeling right now at this very moment? I know lots of coffee talk was happening, so maybe you're exhausted, but check in with self. How are you feeling? And then let's take that into how you want to feel this week. I've got a word cloud here. Now, there is no right or wrong way to do this. You could do one word, you could do many words. Lots of you do, I want more of and less of. With your feelings, like you saw the example there. That's a little oldie. I want to feel like I have a spring in my step. You could throw a sticker here, put an affirmation here. It's whatever you are going to bring to your page, what's right for you. Dawn's been doing animals and using alliteration. So this week she's going to be a respected rooster. That's how she wants to feel. Drop in the chat how you want to feel this week, or maybe how you're feeling right now. And if you're looking for a counter to that, like if you don't even know where to land, throw that in there and let us help you come up with a word for this week. 3% more productive. Ooh, Courtney, you're setting your goals high because a lot of times we just say 1% better. I love that. Oh, and Rooster is your Chinese zodiac sign. Love that. So yeah, just I'm not sure how I want to feel. I'm going to be sitting with a lot of things this week. So I'm going to choose my word, probably my words very carefully. Drop that in the chat, how you want to feel. And then we're going to jump into our three major goals. You can have one major goal. You can have four major goals. This is really about taking what you need. We do want to remind you, think about how you can incorporate SMART goals. The more specific and measured you can do this, make sure that they're really, it is something you can attain, that it's very relevant to your life, and that it's timely. That's a really great way to make sure that those goals happen. So here are just some examples of goals. I love this one over there. I put that little graphic there, easy as ABC. Always be prepared. B, bring all the energy. And C, continue to be great. I love that. And so there's that. You could use your intentions page if you've set up your month. Go see what you wrote on your intentions page to inform your goals this week, or maybe what your habit trackers are going to be, or your stop, start, and continue box. And those can inform this space for the week. You could maybe think about your last week of change or embracing the first week of awareness and set your goals to that. And go look at, since we, just finished up March, were there outstanding things that didn't quite get done? We got a couple days of March. Maybe you'll get them done in the next couple of days. And so that informs this decision. We have no goals. So the things that we're putting boundaries in place with, for like no spend, no fast food, no negative self-talk. So maybe your goals need to be framed in that mindset of boundaries. I love the idea of a theme or a personal challenge, and that could be inspired by how you want to feel. And so, maybe if you want to feel grateful, then, that informs those three goals. Capable of that one over there on the right. So, what does that look like as you are setting up your goals? And I'll go back through these while I give you time to work on it. So don't worry if you're like, oh, I didn't get that. And grab a screenshot of something. Yeah, the handwriting. I love beautiful handwriting. And then lots of us will just sort of make up these three categories, and then we plug in the thing. So here's examples of all of that. They've made three categories. We see early, midday, evening. That's how their goals are set up and informed. Mind, soul, body. The one on the bottom there, let go, leap, and learn. And then they plug in their goal. Work, home, and self. So, coming up with three sort of overriding categories and plugging in a goal for that. And then we can now look at our weekly to-do. So here's an example of how somebody has just kind of divided this space up. There's this hack of doing, what do I need to do? What do I want to do? And what do I hope to do? A couple of examples for you, what that looks like. I love this. Here's a mind, body, soul with some ideas here. So if you're doing a mind goal, a body goal, and a soul goal, perhaps this informs your to-do space. Great Silk and Sonder graphic from our Instagram account. Be sure you're following if you do Instagram. We have the Eisenhower decision matrix. This is so powerful. If your to-do list feels very daunting and overwhelming and is this long, plug those things into this matrix and do it by what's important and urgent, and then what maybe can be deleted or, pushed back for just a little bit, but it's not important and it's not urgent. This is just a really good way to frame that out. And your these boxes can kind of be changed up. Your delete box may end up looking like dropping it till later, declining it, like it's going to stay there, but I'm not, maybe it decreases a little bit. You figure out how to break it down into a smaller step. So you do what you need to do. And the delegate box, who can do it for you? I know a lot of times we say, well, I'm the only one in my household, but think outside the box. Like, are there can Walmart do your online order and then you go pick it up so you don't have to spend that time in the store? Is that a way you could delegate, tasks? Then we have the idea of a not to do list. And here's a couple of examples of that. The things that might be overwhelming you, put it to paper. I'm not going to hold on to past mistakes. I'm not going to overcommit. And I may actually approach my to-do list this week like this so that I can keep my boundaries in check. Y'all know I have things with my mom and my half brother. And so I need to be aware of some things not to do so that I am protecting myself to be the best version of me that I can be amidst everything that's going on. Love the example of don't do this and then do this instead. So giving you, that little support. I'm not going to do this, and here's what I can do instead. I'm going to replace it with this. Very, very powerful. All right, let's work on these two sections first. I'll go back through these slides and then we'll finish up our habits and activities and go on to the next part of our setup. Whoops. So now let's drop down to that habit and activity tracker. I love this tracker. I love I very rarely set goals here, but I love opening my journal and seeing this tracker. And the beauty of this thing is it can reflect the exact week that I'm having. I'm going to go heavy on my self-care this week. I'm going to find some time to go get I don't normally get pedicures, I do it myself. I'm going to treat myself this week. That's going to be one of my activities. So this is going to be heavy self-care for me this week. I need that. But this could also just be those habits that you've been digging into and you're holding yourself accountable. So use this as you need to do it. It's again, I need this week, so it's going to be all about me and nobody else. Um, James Clear is our king of atomic habits. We highly recommend reading that book. If habits is something that you struggle with, he's amazing. And he says the idea behind it is to make the idea behind make it easy is not to only do easy things. The idea is to make it as easy as possible in the moment to do things that pay off in the long run. So what he means by that is like you want to walk 10,000 steps, set a goal of walking 1,000 steps, right? That's easy. And then if you get more, you're all the better for it. Maybe this habit starts with put my walking shoes by the front door. And that's that, boom, and it's right there. So you break these habits that you want, these activities you want down into the smallest bits so that you will be successful with them. So let's look at a couple of slides of some activity trackers. I love this. You can set goals. You can see the one in the upper corner. They want to get up at 6:30 5 times in that week. They want to check in daily, every day in the middle of the day. So 7 is their goal. But notice that there's several trackers on here that have no goal set. They're just tracking. So they're putting power into writing what they want to do. You can track with, anyway, dots, coloring it in. You can see the bottom left. They're just going to color that in with certain different colors. You can circle the days that certain things need to happen. So when I'm sitting here thinking I've got to drive to my mom's, I'm going to be spending a couple of days with her. It's Holy Week. It's, a pretty important part of the Lenten journey. And I'm going to sit with mine and circle days. I need certain things to happen. It'll help with my clarity since I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. So I'll be circling my habit tracker this week. Notice the one in the upper middle. They're only going to track Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So if you're taking a trip or you just need the weekend off, give yourself the day off. You don't have to fill in all the things. We see it and we feel like, oh, but look at the one on the middle left. They're tracking 3 things. So all the lines don't have to be filled in. This is about taking what you need. Here's a couple more. And because we are kicking off like a new journal and a new month, I love this example of PM systems. So this is that nighttime ritual and routine. They have time. They've linked it with specific times. 8 o'clock, I'm showering, I'm doing my face. 8:30, doing my workout prep. 8:45, prepping breakfast. Man, tomorrow morning you is gonna love you for doing that. My, thank you. That's her. See, they all came around, right? All these examples. 8:55, I'm putting my water at my bedside. 9 o'clock, a bedtime story. Gonna read, gonna listen, whatever that means to you. But this whole tracker is very honed in on this systems that she's trying to lock in so she can be her best self. And that was one of her goals. So you can see she put that as a major goal, build systems, and there's how I'm going to do it. So I love the way that tracker is linked in directly to the goals. And y'all know, Michelle, me too. The rhythms and routines of my life are always a mess since I don't have that structure built into what used to be my professional day, at school. Yeah, so there's that. Some call outs. I love that is speaking to some of you to maybe think about making this tracker sort of, you know, very honed in on one thing. And so that's her nighttime routine showing up there. And then we've got some ideas to add to your habit tracker. Additionally, habits that you're working on should be showing up week after week after week. You really shouldn't be reinventing the wheel because it takes a while for habits to get established. So this may be easy peasy to fill in. You're going to go look at last week's, put it in this tracker. Let me put on a spot of music while you work on this. Share anything that you have to offer about how you use your habit tracker. And then we'll jump over to our next page. If this is your very first weekly setup, I hope that you are getting some ideas, and I hope that you're hearing that we are all saying take what you need in this journal. So you can use these pages just as they are printed, but you can also repurpose so that they meet what you need for that week. And it is okay to not do some of these spaces. It is okay to say, you know what? I'm going to just do my habit tracker wheel in the front of my journal, and I'm going to put stickers over this week, this weekly habit and activity tracker. You don't have to be obligated to every single thing in this journal. Conversely, if you dive into this journal and it is covered by the end of the week, and that is how you met your needs, more power to you. So, just again, that reminder to take what you need. So, this next page is the one that we tend to repurpose more often. Lots of folks use it just as it is, but I've got lots of examples to share with you of how folks set this up. We have our meal planner. We love this space because it's a nice, I always say they're juicy boxes there. So in this meal planner, here are two examples to show and tell you. We've got how am I going to celebrate every day? So the person on the left, it appears that they are going to be doing the National Day of. They're embracing something for the National Day of each one of these days. Or maybe they've just made them up. I don't know. But I love the stickers. I love, gardening day, laundry day, banana day. Love that. And Ellen, I'll go back through it after we work on going through these slides since we're talking about that. Oh, Heather, I'm so glad that you are here today. So, Heather has shared her page, which you see is on the right. And I love that she is using her meal tracker as her affirmation page, or she's going to write her affirmations there. And I see that you do your meds and your vitamins by tracking those water droplets. I've shared just that part before too, Heather, because that's such a good repurpose of the water droplets. The Mind Body Health Plan, both of these examples are using it as ways to take care of self. And then we've got the quote in the example on the left, but for this one over there on the right that Heather did, she put in a bingo, and I've got some bingos to show you. I'm a bingo girl. I love bingo. You can do your I'm loving box with whatever's happening in your world, or you could throw a beautiful sticker on there to make today amazing, like you see. So I'm going to kind of scroll through all of these pretty quickly so you have time to look at them, and then I'll go back through them while you're actually working on this page and sharing how you set this page up. Now, this is our April 2026 30 Days of Awareness. You can go grab this on the Silk and Sonder Facebook page or in Instagram, but I will also include it in every weekly setup I do. These can really inspire some of the spaces on this page. Also got a couple of, I follow Ordinary and Happy on Instagram. I love the idea of bloom scrolling instead of doom scrolling. So if you follow enough happy, positive pages, your feeds will become a little more joyful. And one of the places I follow, it's called Ordinary and Happy. And so these two April calendars came from that. So you can pick and choose what you use, and maybe this shows up on your second page this week. Or maybe you turn to that calendar at the front of the journal and you fill that calendar in with some of the things that we're seeing. What pages is our calendar spread? It's on page 5. So this guy, maybe that just gets filled in with a lot of the things that are inspired from here. And then let's look at some meal plans, some repurposing. So we've got here's what some meal plan, the way you use it for your nutrition could look like. And then here's some repurposing. Do you not love the doodles? I love the doodles. Doodling is good for your brain because it taps into something different that you might not be using if you're not a creative type on the regular. some more repurposing. Nathania left, hers just says 15 minutes, and then she commented, the 15 minutes is try to get me to declutter every day. So that's her decluttering challenge space. People do word of the day, maybe their wordle goes here, maybe a mini reflection like what I did well. But you could also do what I did well over in your mind body health plan. So all of these are very interchangeable. We'll look at some mind body health plans. Um, Lots of creative uses of that. The AM and PM routine over there is actually from the shopping list that's been repurposed. Sorry about that. But you could put that in this mind body health plan. I always try to do something for just me in this space on the regular. Here's some ideas about journaling prompts, unplugging. What am I loving today? Here's the bills I need to pay. It could just be anything. And then the shopping list, you're going to see a lot of grids and a lot of bingo ideas here because we love that. Oh no, this is still Mind Body Health Plan. Sorry about that. And we've got some April slow living inspiration, and then we'll look at the shopping list here with maybe it is a shopping list, but maybe you repurpose it, or maybe you just do like this person did, no unnecessary spending as that reminder if that's a financial plan that you're working on. A ton of ideas for bingos. If it's your birthday week, I highly recommend doing a birthday bingo and just focusing on yourself. That's always fun. This is a good place to put your chores and your activities and the things you need to get done. A self-esteem journal could go in the mind body health plan or the shopping list or the meal planner. You just respond to each one of these. You could grab a screenshot of that if you wanted to do a little mini journal reflection. And then finally, what are you loving? So I'm going to put on some music and I'll go back through all of these slides and I'll back up into that other slide that was requested. And then we will come back and finish up.
always talk about how quickly our time flies when we are together.
Just that reminder, this is being recorded. They have been doing an amazing job of getting these imported into the um, YouTube channel. And so you can go watch this at any time. You can replay, you can put on that recording and slide over to the second page if that's the page you need to work on. It's never a race to set up your journal. This is about taking the time that you need. We present you some ideas, and if you see something you love, you can go grab it. So no pressure on yourselves. This isn't supposed to be a stressful time. But you'll be able to go grab that. You can pause recordings, and we have a million weekly setups. And so you could go watch other weekly setups even to get inspiration. We try to change things up. As you saw, so many people said, "Hey, that's mine. Hey, that's mine." I pulled a lot of old stuff this week because I wanted to make what's old new again. And so I'm so glad y'all were here to see that, and a big appreciation for sharing in Sonder Club so that we could grab great content to spread the love with Silk and Sonder. Again, another shout out to that digital journal. Bailey's going to be dropping a lot of links in the chat, including that YouTube channel, the link to the digital journal, the reminder to please go leave some Silk and Sonder love. We like to fuss when things don't go well, and when things are going great, we tend to forget to do those reviews. So that is such a beautiful act of kindness that you can do for a program that is so meaningful to all of us. And there's our playlist for the day. It is my change playlist. So we're saying goodbye to it today. I'm going to be working on my new awareness playlist. But if you want to go and grab that music, there's my Spotify link. I just dropped that in the chat. Again, I would love to see your setup. Thank you for the love, the support. Thank you for being there for one another, and especially for the extra love for me today. I will be journeying. You're going to get tired of me talking about it. So I'm so glad to have y'all. Thank you, Bailey. And I loved hanging out with y'all today. Make it a great day. And I'll be back on tonight to set up this new month of April. Have a good one, friends. Love y'all.